Well, so I'm here with, we're sitting here in a flood, and we actually, the neighbor was saying, standing at the door drinking tea, saying, "Are you really sure you want to go out with these ominous clouds?" As he was looking at the sky. In fact, he pointed to the sky like, "That thing, beware of that thing, it's coming now." And I was like, what's he pointing to? Like some sort of a, like a, I don't know, it looked like he was pointing to a fire that was about to, burn us down or something. Anyway, speaking of fires, well, it's a good segue, by the way. Wow. We have a special guest here in the Indian studio. I feel like I'm in Bombay or something. So anyways, I'm talking to somebody who staying in this hostel that we're trapped in right now because of this flood, and we're having coffee, and she is from Michigan, and you said you were in the... Now I'm just going to give you this whole thing and let you talk, because I want to be a good interviewer. Okay. I don't like to talk a lot, but I want to listen to you. So I'm going to give her the microphone, and she's just going to talk about where you were in the last months in Hawaii, and then what exactly happened, and just tell me all your impressions about Maui since you were there.
So I had the opportunity to travel to Maui this summer, and I have been volunteering through a program called World Packers, which is how I travel. And World Packers is a program that allows you to work at different places around the world, and then in exchange they give you accommodation, some meals, and then whatever services that the hostel provides, you also get those for free. So it's a really fun way to travel. I've done one in Greece, I did one in Hawaii, of course, and I'm doing one here now at this hostel. So I spent June through August on Maui this summer in Hawaii, and I worked as a receptionist. I just had to work a few days a week, and I also led tours. We went snorkeling, we did hiking tours, we went all over the west side. There's so many beautiful places to see in Maui, and I absolutely fell in love with the island in just a few short months. And there was 12 other volunteers with me, so we quickly all became a big family, and it was such a special experience. And then early August, it was about the second week, I was on the beach, and my family had actually came and visited Maui. So we were watching the sunset, and we noticed that, kind of similar to tonight, the clouds were just a little bit darker than normal. But I hadn't heard anything about a hurricane. So it kind of threw me off because I thought it was just some kind of tropical storm or something. A few weeks before that, there was talk of a hurricane, but we weren't affected by it at all. And then on this certain day, I didn't hear anything of that sort. So we watched the sunset, and we went back home that night, and overnight, the whole town of Lahaina caught fire. And when we woke up the next morning, the whole island had changed. The energy was completely different, and everyone was kind of panicking in a way. Everyone was trying to get off the island as quickly as possible. And Maui is very, very small. It's about 50 miles from one side to the other. So there's not many roads, and most of the resorts are on the west side, and Lahaina is on the west side. So all of the people that were staying on the west side didn't have a way to get back to the other side of the island, which is where the airport is. So there was a lot of panic, and it was really scary for a little bit of time, just because there was so many people that wanted to get off the island, that wanted to get home, because the fire wasn't completely contained for a few days. It was controlled, but it wasn't completely contained. So there was a lot of families that were rushed to the other side of the island, and they were staying in different churches and shelters that were housing these people. But it was really weird, and to talk about it now is crazy, just because I can reflect and, think about how it actually was for the other people. thinking about how it was for other people is hard, because for me, I was on the other side of the island. I was about 30 minutes away, and I was not affected by them at all, which I am so thankful for and so grateful for. But a lot of people were really heavily impacted, and so many local residents of Maui lost everything, lost their homes, lost their jobs, maybe their animals, all of their clothing. I'm not sure exactly what the statistics are at right now for deaths and injuries, but I think it was higher than what the news was saying most of the time, which was kind of scary because we never really knew an accurate number. On top of that, they did get bus loads of people from the resorts back to the airport, so we were able to get a lot of people off the island. So I was there throughout the full month of August, so those last few weeks were just kind of quiet. There wasn't many tourists at all. They were actually advising no non-essential travelers, correct, thank you, to Maui at all. So they were saying only essential travel was what they wanted, and this went on for about 3 weeks until I left. It's just now started back. The tourism has been growing in the past few weeks. It's been starting back up. But yeah, it really was a crazy time to be there, and I was happy that I was able to help volunteer at some food banks and different things while I was there, just to do my part and to help. We also started a program at our hostel where we brought in volunteers similar to what I was doing, but their role was just to help rebuild and help at food banks and similar stuff like that. So rather than working at the hostel, they were volunteering around Maui to help the families with that kind of stuff. But I think that the news portrayed it in a really interesting way, and there were so many people reaching out to me while it was going on and saying, "Are you okay?" Because the news was making it seem like the whole entire island was on fire. And don't get me wrong, it was scary, but it also wasn't for a lot of people. It was okay. We were scared for the people in Lahaina, but it wasn't that we were in danger at all. So there's a lot of different perspectives and a lot of ideas that can be talked about with the fires, and I think that as time goes on, we'll definitely learn more about the truth. And I don't know how deep you've gotten into the research, but there's so many conspiracies too, so I don't know too much about all of that, and I definitely can't say any facts because I know that it's just all opinions, but there was a lot about that, so I am interested to see what happens in the coming months. And yeah, what do you think about all that?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a good point you're asking me. What do I know about all that? Well, I mean, yeah, Mom and I watched all the different, of course, pieces of information that if you put together, it's kind of obvious, what the situation really is there. So, anyway, so yeah, it looks like that the people are really trying to, well, basically land grab is what they're saying, right? They wanted to take that land. And so, but it looks like the people are actually trying to fight back on that point. They're trying to, because that was a war that was sort of going on for a long time between that area, which are the local Hawaiians. And so that battle had been going on for a long time. Now, I think they're trying to expose this thing. Do you feel like that's really happening, that battle is now underway for real?
I don't think I can say a distinct answer myself, but I can say that I visited Oahu this summer as well, and the differences from Oahu to Maui are just insane. And a lot of the talk of what you're saying was people were thinking that they were trying to change Maui to become more like Oahu, which is a big city. So many tall skyscrapers, and when you come to Maui, there's nothing like that. It's all beautiful, lush, green forest and mountains, and there really isn't any big city. So part of the conspiracy was that they were trying to turn Lahaina, which was this old historical town, into something, into a bigger city.
They had said that they wanted to make a smart city. So, I mean, that was already news that's
Right.
what their plan was. So
Yeah.
How could you not factor that into the information? I mean, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the rebuilding plans right now.
Yeah.
But I did actually see a video today, and it said that they're opening the west side back up in the next coming week, I think October 8th or something.
Really?
And it was a Maui resident speaking on it, and he was asking people to sign a petition to not open the west side yet because the people haven't healed, the people haven't been able to rebuild, and
They want to control it. I mean,
they want to control it,
and people want to have control more than the other people.
right, and they don't want tourists to invade into that space before they're able to heal on their own and
Right.
make it into what they want it to be, what it once was.
Right, because their fear is that the developers, once it's out of from the local perspective, once it's out of their control, to heal it the way that they want, that the it's just going to be open. They won't know. The developers are going to come in and suddenly this shopping center is going to be built, and they have no say about it or something like this. That's their fear, because they already had like a proposed giant hotel proposals in the area right there. So I mean, things were kind of being planned already for the developers, let's just say. So yeah, that's the way that when my mom and I were watching because we watched, there's a lot of YouTubers that are actually pretty much saying what the real story is. I mean, so it's not like the mainstream media, of course, has their own portrayal of the situation, but then some bloggers are really putting together a lot of information about the fact that the police chief guy was from the Vegas thing, and then he's also the coroner, and so he can control like the numbers of how many people are alive and dead. So okay, let's wrap it up on this. So bottom line is you feel like do you feel like the local people may win and be able to fight this battle? Do you think it's just kind of hopeless that they're going to lose? The developers are going to just do whatever they want to the new Maui. What is your gut feeling?
I really hope that the local people will win, because it's such a native place and it has been taken over so much in the past few years and turned into something so much different than it once was. So I hope for the native people that they can take back what was once theirs. And I did sign a petition today, so I hope that helps. But I was also just thinking of how much money was donated to Maui in the past.
I donated money.
Yeah, so many people. A group of us volunteers started a PayPal and a GoFundMe page just so we could buy supplies. But I know that so many big companies and celebrities, I know Oprah Winfrey, for example, and different people like that, donated so much money that I just wonder where that money goes, if it's going to somewhere that the government controls or if it's going to somewhere that the locals control. And most likely it's something that the government controls. I was sharing this link for a while that was different families in Maui, and you could specifically donate to specific families. So I think that it was important to share.
Eric West.
Yeah, I think it was important to share links like that, but I think for the most part people were just donating to something that didn't go to specific people and that maybe could be used to build a shopping mall or something that the locals wouldn't want. Right. So I don't know where that bulk of money, those billions of dollars, are going to go to, but I hope that it's not turned into a big city and Maui is changed, because I definitely fell in love with that place this summer, but I fear that the government may take it into their own hands because now they have this big opportunity to do so.
Well, it looks like we both see the situation the same way, and as right as we should, because I mean you were there, and then you saw probably the real story of the situation, and it seems like people are pretty vocal about it. I mean, when I watched those town hall meetings with the local people, I mean, they were really, they weren't holding back, let's put it that way. So, anyways, yeah, so, what else, is there anything else you want to add to your travels, or anything interesting? What do you think of Bangkok? What do you think of Thailand? Is this your first time to Thailand?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I actually just got here 2 days ago, so I don't have the best opinion yet, but from what I've seen, Bangkok is very energetic and exciting, and there's a lot to see here. I'm going to be here for 2 weeks, so I'm trying to take it slow, because I know, especially in this area, you can let the party life take over pretty quickly. So I've just been interacting with people and learning about the best parts of Thailand and getting some great recommendations. So I'm looking forward to exploring outside of Bangkok and seeing more about the Thai culture.
And what do you think now? In Michigan, is marijuana legal over there? And what do you think about the marijuana culture here in Thailand? I mean, maybe it's similar to what you experienced. Tell me the differences back home and how you feel about.
For sure. So marijuana is legal in Michigan. We have a lot of dispensaries all over the place. You just have to be 21 to buy. I would say they're very nonchalant compared to the places that I've seen here in Bangkok, with the big neon weed signs everywhere. We don't really have that in Michigan. It's more just dispensary.
Like a department store.
Yeah, modern department stores. You walk in, you have someone help you. You buy your pre-rolls and joints and whatever, and it's really easy and it's nice. But I haven't been into any of the stores here yet. I've just seen them from walking past. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. I think it's cool how legal it is here as well. I didn't realize it was before traveling here. So
really?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just didn't really look into it, but yeah.
Okay, so you and then okay, let's wrap it up like this. Well, this has been a fantastic interview with you, and good to get your perspective on Maui and Michigan. And what are your future plans? What would you like to do in the next 10 years? And do you plan on traveling the world, or you just want to go to Asia and go back to America? What do you even think about, like, the livability of America now? I mean, would you consider living in Asia or other parts of the world, or are you happy? That's a lot to unpack there, I know. Are you happy in America? Future plans, happiness, living outside of America?
So my future plans consist of a lot of free will right now, because I don't have a set exact plan that I'm going to follow. Sorry, we're having interruption.
Sorry, you can do the social hour upstairs.
Okay.
At the living room, our living common area. Okay. Right, you can do this.
Okay, I'll come up.
You'll come up.
Yeah, we're doing a little podcast.
Yeah.
We'll be there later. Thanks.
My job here is to run social hour for 1 hour from 6 to 7.
Oh, wow.
So, anyways, let me finish my answer. I just graduated from school with my degree in biology, so my plan was always to do something in the medical field, and this was my plan because I knew it would make me good money, and I knew that it was always a promised career. And I studied abroad last year in college. I lived in Greece for 6 months, and after doing that, I was like, there's no way that I can go to school for 4 more years, and I just wanted to travel the world.
In the USA.
Yeah, right. So I did Hawaii, and now I'm here, and I just want to keep traveling for a while. I'm really passionate about writing, so I'm
Writing?
trying. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's my ultimate passion.
Really?
Can we talk about that?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Writing. Well, writing was always my first. I think my first passion when I was like probably 10 years old. That was the first one, and I wrote a lot at 10 years old. Quite philosophical type stuff, and also kind of romantic in a way. I was writing poetry and all kinds of philosophical things. But anyways, and I know now that I must. Tell me if you have this feeling that you must absolutely. Oh, you gotta go. You must absolutely write every single day. It's something that kind of. If I let it go and I don't write every day, something has been missed. That's how I feel. I've missed something. I haven't seen myself or checked in with myself in that particular day. And when I do it, I feel so fed. I feel even if I wrote a small article, I just feel there's something there. There's an energy there to it. You understand yourself. You get to know who you are. And it's the most direct mirror and also maybe the hardest because you're looking at life and you're putting it down on the paper and it just becomes there's something magical about writing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. For me, and you can probably relate to this too, I think writing is a form of therapy because you're able to be so honest with yourself, and sometimes I think that when I'm typing, the words come out so much easier. So if I can't explain something, I can definitely make it make sense on paper when I'm writing. So I like to look at it that way. And also, for example, yesterday I was thinking about what I wanted to do in the next few months with my travel plans. And I got back here and I opened up my journal and I just feel like I had to write it down just so it was on paper somewhere, a sort of manifestation, and I was just putting it out into the universe. So that's another way I like to look at my writing. But yeah, I just write about like life experiences, mental health and wellness, and dealing with grief, a lot of different stuff like that. So it's not really like I'm writing stories, it's just really experiences and hoping that I can help others from my writing and they can learn from my mistakes and we can grow together.
Yeah. And on that note, do you want to go? I just wanted to say, yeah, with the manifesting, like you basically write your own script for your life through writing, and that's what I've found. And I do have a few books in me that I want to write, and it's such a huge project that I don't know how I'm going to set the scene for it. Like go to an island and just say, okay, look, you're going to do this, because you know what I mean. Pushing everything else aside to get the writing you want to. Have you ever thought about like how are you going to write a book? Like you're going to have to push everything aside, or you're going to have to like write in the middle of the night or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like where are you going to find that focus? And that's kind of what I've been looking for is, because writing is so great because you can put everything aside and get deep into the moment. Okay, you got to go. Thank you so much, and
thank you. I don't know what to say for the closing, but I'm happy. I'm happy we met. I'm happy I got to share a little bit about my Hawaiian summer, and God bless.
Okay, God bless. Thank you. Fantastic. Okay, and we survived the flood. Look at this. The water's all gone now. So